Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and you're very welcome to episode number 10 of the Hope Show, because collections are built on hope. And today, let's be honest, today was a massive day if you were a Hot Toys or 1/6 scale collector. There was a bunch of different drops, some which have left the community a bit divided, some which have kind of had people kind of, I suppose, putting their hands in their heads and going, really? Another one? There was some head sculpts which I've seen people critique online. Then there were some bug-looking things that I have no idea what they are, but if you love them, more power to you. But we're going to talk about them all, and we're also going to maybe look forward to other possible announcements for other Toy Fair exclusives and stuff during the rest of the summer. And then we might even put in some very, very unrealistic speculations just for fun, things that we kind of know we aren't going to get, but we would like Hot Toys maybe to announce, release, revisit, reboot, whatever you want to say. So we're going to bring in the panel here. We've got Ian, aka H and Silver Fox. We got Dilo the Collector, one of the three horsemen, or the wolves men, should I say, or just wolves. One of the three members of the pack. I completely butchered that. I apologize. He's a member of the pack. And we got Trevor, 1/6 shooter, and of course we have Dan in Carbonite. Gentlemen, thanks very, very much for agreeing to come on here and join me today for this. It's a lot easier to have a conversation when you're not just talking to yourself. And I do tend to do that from time to time. How are we doing today, gents?
Great.
Good.
All good.
Thanks, mate.
Fantastic. And that's more like it. That's more like it. That was Dilo. This is where we bring Dilo on. So
Bringing the energy.
Yeah. I was listening to Biffy Clyro on a drive there today. They're probably not too far from you, Ian. Would that be correct? Would they be your cup of tea?
Yep, they are definitely my cup of tea. They live about 25 miles from where I live.
Right, I didn't realise they'd be that close. I know they're Scotland, but they're only up the road, sure. Yeah.
Yep. So they're Ayrshire, so on the west coast. So yeah.
Gotcha. And have you seen them live before?
Twice, yes.
Twice, yeah. Well worth a watch. And Dilo, you're West Coast, aren't you?
Yes, TUM West Coast.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. And Dan, whereabouts in the UK are you based?
Southampton.
Southampton, gotcha. And then Trevor, you're Jersey, no?
Long Island, New York.
Long Island. Ah, right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sorry, just getting the sponsorship deal in there. product placement. I wish. Well, look, we'll address the chat then. Lots to talk about, and we'll get into it then. Okay, so we got Trevor warming up the crowd, 1/6 shooter. We've got Michael, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but he has an open invite. Yeah, we'll definitely be seeing him on future episodes of the Hope Show. Open invite for Mike. Mike is a channel mod as well. He's got the blue wrench, so beware. And Mike Fela with the exclamation marks. He's always winding me up. What's that thing in the thumbnail? Mike, you should really block this guy. Mike, block Mike. No, don't. I'm only joking. We got Ian warming up the crowd as well. We have Mitchell Lawrence. So we're talking about Prey, the Predator, about the Prey Predator. I put up the Prey Predator because the whole thing was kind of like, the pun was like, what are we praying for? Yes, I have dad jokes, and we're kind of wondering, like, what are we... The idea is that at some point towards the end of the show, we're going to give a few kind of like predictions over the next few months, that things that you think are going to drop, whether that's another wave of Hot Toys Toy Fair exclusives. I think there was 2 waves last summer, if I remember correctly. And then just for fun, things that we know we definitely won't be getting, but we can hope and dream. So kind of realistic speculation, and then completely unrealistic.
Meanwhile, we're the prey, really. We're
yes,
really
we are absolutely the prey. Our wallets, if you want to be really specific, but yeah,
target, yeah.
Suffering collectors. We will be mentioned anyway, because that was definitely one of my, I would have said, a realistic prediction, considering they just dropped that post, and I thought they were queuing that up. But look, just when you think it haven't worked out, you don't. Ryan Smith, channel member, thanks very much for being here. Brandon Salad, channel member, thank you very much for being here. Dilo was also warming up the crowd. Collector Joey was on his live stream there at the weekend, a great time. We also have Alan. We have another member, Alan, will be joining us in future episodes of the Hope Show. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it tonight, but he's here in spirit. We got Phil. He's got that blue wrench as well. Beware. We got 12-inch Moose Dream, again, a channel member, and he's always in the chat. Thank you very much. Connor says, just waiting for those figures to be listed here, man. Yeah. Talia Meyer in Germany, and Mitchell Lawrence up to date here. And right, so the first thing I just want to acknowledge and thank Ian, Ancient Silver Fox here, donated a, I believe, brand new in box Civil War Winter Soldier. Did I get that right?
Nice.
That is correct. Yep.
Good stuff. And what we're going to do is going to be part of a 3K giveaway. Now, look, we're not really there at the moment. We're about 2,250-ish. So we got a long road ahead of us. It could be weeks, it could be months, it could be years. Hopefully not years. But if and when the channel breaks 3,000, the idea is then we will name a certain date. And in order to win this, you'll have to be subscribed, present during that live stream. We'll ask a question, and it'll be just the first person to give the correct answer into the live chat will get that, and they'll have to pay the postage, but the figure is free. I think that's what we agreed on, wasn't it, Ian?
No, postage will be paid for, but if there's any customs or any other tax,
stuff.
then
So it's even better than I thought. I apologize. So that's basically, yeah. And if you're lucky enough to live in somewhere that you don't have to pay customs, happy days. It's probably one of the better Winter Soldiers, I'd say.
yeah, I think so. I really like the one I've got, and yeah, it's not true what they say about Scotsmen. We're really not tight. We're quite friendly.
Yeah, definitely friendly. Just going to acknowledge the channel members. Again, there's always a link to channel membership if you want to consider becoming a trooper or commander and joining the ranks. It's pinned into the live chat there, but just want to acknowledge and appreciate the members so far. So we have in the troopers tier, we've got Mugwump, Stephen Rinks, Mike L, who is here, Payton23, Chuli, Bendu Windu, Ryan Smith, who I believe is here as well. Commanders tier, then we've got Tragedy Tales, the 6 Scale Gallery, Alan, who is in the chat and often on the panel, X-Man Supreme, Michael 12-inch Moose Stream, who is here as well, Philip the Fool, Keith the 6 Scale Padawan, fellow Irishman, Mark Mitchell, I thought I saw Mark Mitchell there, William Owens, Brandon Salad, and Phil, who's got that blue wrench, The Empire Strikes, collecting weekly. They're a big deal and people know them. Every Tuesday they're one of the staples of my my kind of a collecting related content that I would listen to and follow each week. Bubba Fettuccini. New videos on the channel. We've got Classic Loki, thoughts on Running Out of Space, Amazing Spider-Man, some exclusive stuff we won't get, probably touch on that today. And of course, today I did a video on this. So, Dilo, it's instead of dealer's choice, it's Dilo's choice. Which exclusive that was announced today do you want to talk about first? I'm going to give you, you're up.
Let's start with the big one.
Okay.
Let's go with Joker.
So we're talking about those bug things, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Someone's
Kamen
going to have
Rider.
to explain to me what they are because I'm ignorant to them at the moment. All right. So we're going to go with the, I love the way they call it artisan, but I hear artisan, I just think of pizza or something like, I don't know,
Hate that term.
artisan food. So Dilo will take it away here. What do you think?
I think it's not so bad. I've been hearing a lot of rumbling in the communities and Inart this, Inart that, and Inart has a great product. I have mine, but I will say the rooted one is a miss, but the sculpted one is actually quite nice.
All right. So you actually prefer the sculpted version of this? Interesting.
I do.
Do you want me to switch onto the sculpted one?
I mean, whatever you want to talk about first. It doesn't. We can start with this one here if you want to.
Okay.
I can elaborate.
Right, so, yeah, do you want to, I'll just flick through some of these images there. I'll really quickly, I'll just outline what it actually comes with, and then you can, I'll flick through and you can just talk away. So, separate rolling eyeball system and 2 styles of expression. You've got this wool hair implantation. I think Trevor would know a bit more about that. Definitely, there's no think about it. Trevor buys a lot of customs and head sculpts like that, and he knows a lot more about routing than I do. Custom tailored form-fitting outfit with fine texture and accurate patterns. We have got A diorama base with 2 LED lighting modes. I'm not sure if this is magnetic or not. We'll definitely be talking about that. Anyone on the panel know if this is magnetic or not?
It seems like it is. I mean, they're showing it on top of there with no stand, so I'm assuming, you know, they're going to take it to that level. They're going to put magnets in there. I wonder if they've learned, though, and put a full magnet underneath there and not just like a couple of spots.
Yeah, that'd be the thing, to put the full disc or whatever.
Yeah.
Diorama base with 2 LED lighting modes. Right. I'm not seeing the LED lighting modes. What?
It's on or off, I guess, is the 2 LED modes.
So is on with this bat symbol here?
Apparently.
Quite the observations, Trevor.
Yeah.
Because like when I look at that, I've been banging on about that Bespin Luke base for the last 2 weeks. That is 2 lighting modes, because it has the orange light from underneath the grate that he's standing on. And then it has the 2 tires with the white, the two towers generators with the white light. And you can do it separately or just the 2 towers, or you can have them together. So technically there's 3. But on or off, that is funny. One thing I do particularly like is it gives him an array of knives and what looks like a potato peeler. His pencil comes with him as well, and the shotgun. So that's definitely kudos to Hot Toys on that. But sorry, I'm going to go back to Dilo. I'm going to stop talking. I'll flick through some of these images. Feel free to stop me or tell me to move on. What do you think?
Well, I mean, think overall, like I said, excluding my my opinions on the sculpted and rooted for a second here, taking the fact, let's start with the head sculpt itself. I think it has a very good likeness to it there. I feel like I think at this point, there's been so many head sculpts and reiterations of this particular character, custom, Hot Toys, third party, you name it, that I feel like they almost seem, it's like picking at straw at this stage here, which is like it one person can prefer Inart and they can be 100% correct because it looks fantastic. Someone can like this one here and say this is their definitive Joker. And I don't think anybody's really wrong at this stage. I think this character has been done so many times that I think this is an exceptional sculpt. Now, I do want to address the thing that is in this picture that I cannot stop looking at here. What is everybody's thoughts on this tongue situation that we see here? Some people like it. Some people think it's absolutely the weirdest thing they've ever put as an accessory for a head sculpt. I mean, what do you guys feel about this here?
Not a fan.
No.
So
I've seen.
I
Go ahead.
I applaud them for trying something different, but for me, it doesn't work.
I've seen some custom sculpts of this, and it's very good, but the mouth is a little more open. From what I understand now, that's magnetic, and it sticks on the mouth, and that's what comes off. So it's either like the little tongue piece, and then not the little tongue piece. So it's not 2 sculpts.
Yeah, I applaud them for trying something new, but it's just that the point of the tongue is that during each time Heath Ledger / Joker would talk, he would have this mannerism where he would lick his lips before he's goes into what he's going to say. So to capture it in a still motion seems like it's a good idea in theory, but one that I don't know how you can really replicate that.
Yeah, he did do that as an affect, but like I think the scene that I remember is the "Well, hello, beautiful" in Wayne, in Wayne Manor or whatever, or the building at least. And like that, he kind of kept it out a little bit more and was like, rubbing, combing his hair with his knife or whatever. I don't know. It's just very scene specific. I mean, I know what you're saying. Like he did it as an affect a lot, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd display it like that. I might photograph it like that once. But it's a little weird. But they're trying something different. I gotta hand it to them that they're at least going a different route than what Inart did for their sculpts. So maybe not as iconic as like the smash face smeared makeup look, but it's cool. You get 2 things out of one sculpt, so not a bad idea.
That's true.
I think this image looks good. I did the video earlier on, and by no means did I say that this product is bad. You couldn't possibly say that and mean it. I do give Inart the edge on the sculpt, the paint apps, and the rooted hair. And bear in mind, I think the thing is, I'm comparing the actual product and rooted hair on my Inart Joker to this prototype.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like I have an in hand, like literally, like no pun intended, like have it in my hand, literally. And I'm looking at it, and the rooted hair is fantastic. It sits well. I know people have had issues and stuff like that. But prototypes, like this prototype here, I said during the week that when the Anakin, those 3 photos of Anakin dropped last week, which I think are stunning, I think that would have been an internet breaker, and there would have been a lot more hype about it if we hadn't seen the leaked images from the actual display, what it looks like in display in the Sideshow Con. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because
Inart did the same thing with Aragorn. They shot themselves in the foot by everybody seeing that. You know what I mean? So.
Kind of. But the thing is, that looks so goddamn good. Whereas I don't think this looks like, mind.
Oh yeah, it's not apples to apples, but yeah, right.
You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Yeah.
But this particular image, though, I think looks better than the tongue image. Dan, haven't got your take there. Overall impressions. You can talk about the sculpted. You can talk about the rooted. We'll take a quick look at the sculpted after this. But yeah, what are your thoughts? Your overall thoughts in general?
I think a lot of people have been saying online that a lot of people prefer the sculpted hair than the rooted. I think the rooted looks, I've got the Inart like many of us have, and I'm just looking at the hair and it just looks like it's too puffy. It doesn't look to me, it doesn't look as good as what Inart have done. But I mean, it's gonna obviously come up that we are going to compare both figures, if you know what I mean.
Inevitable.
I think to be honest, I think this is probably. I mean, that one on the right looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
That looks good. That looks good there. The tongue thing, like everyone says, I think it's going to be one of those that you might not pose it for long with that, but you can, it's good for photos or just the odd sort of pose you want to do it in when you're doing like a review or an Instagram post or something. It's always nice to have like variety on what you can do with your figures anyway, isn't it? I suppose, but it's still quite off-putting looking at it. Even when I'm looking at it now, I'm just your eyes drawn to it all the time. Do you know what? It's really weird. Is that we all knew this was coming, but I was quite shocked. Not quite shocked. I was quite surprised how I didn't like it as much. It's sort of like I say, the sculpted one's better for me, but it's not blown me away at all. And I think the rumours that I'm hearing with prices and everything, it's quite a lot of money for what you're getting. I think.
Yeah, the pricing I think was like 3,600 or something like that Hong Kong dollars for the rooted, which is about 390.
But that's without all the other pluses on, isn't it?
Yeah, that's without your shipping and customs and sideshow tax and everything else. But
the other thing, Shane, sorry, before I say this, before I get off, is that obviously it's limited, which is the rooted hair. So surely that's going to put the price up even more with just putting the limit. 4,000 is it? This one?
Yep.
So this is sub $400. The rooted?
It will be. Yeah, I think it will be.
Well, the thing is that the prices I saw were.
I saw $340 for the sculpted hair on Pop.
That's what I saw too. Yeah,
but I didn't see anything for the rooted yet, so I didn't hear it yet.
Well, the rooted that I saw was one of those images, like the Toy Fair exclusive images with Hong Kong dollar pricing. So that's probably local pricing. That's not taking into account the 30% markup Sideshow would put on it, and then your tax and shipping and stuff. But like if you break it down, the rooted 2-pack was $1,100. So I think it was a kit. We're shipping the rooted 2-pack for $1,100. So the diorama base has to be worth anywhere between $150 and $200. So then what you're left with $900, 2 figures, $450 each. So and the rooted figures. So I'd imagine Hot Toys are going to come in around maybe $450.
This is the start, isn't it? This is the start.
That's what I thought. $450. Yeah. Yep.
This is the start of the exclusive Hot Toys figures, like Anakin. This is going to be the way they're going to do it. They're for me, I can see it. They're going down the sort of Inart sort of route of limited, rooted, more expensive, sort of exclusive line. I think now.
Thing is, right? It won't really matter if the rooted hair turns out bad.
That's true. I mean, exclusive is an exclusive. I think people just can still just say, well, regardless of how I personally feel about what I would have done, I still am only one of 4,000 to own it. So that does bode well for its value in the future.
But if
Well,
it
not if
ends
it's
up like
bad,
looking like
though.
Sideshow Bob,
Yeah, no.
will that matter? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like, would you rather like a figure that there's more of them out there, they're not numbered, but the hair and the sculpt looks better, or would you rather the one like that's all puffy that it's limited? Like again, I don't know because I don't know what this is going to turn out. I'm just trying to
I
throw
trust
some
that
thoughts
Hot
out
Toys
there.
is going to give us what we see here, which I don't think. Look at like the Joker, Heath Ledger Joker, and Indiana Jones in the custom world. Those are like the two. I think every sculptor has done their version of this. So like you can just look at these, and I think we all can, to some degree, look at this and go, something a little off there. You know what I mean? There's something a little off on this one. I'm not really sure if it's the jaw or what it is for me, but I think it looks good. I mean, listen, it's good. You know what I mean? I think it looks really good. You know, if we hadn't seen Inart before, we'd be drooling over this. I think Inart beats it a little bit on both sides. Myself, I think the sculpted one for Inart looks a little less spaghetti-like than the rooted one for Hot Toys, or for the sculpted one for Hot Toys. But I think that if the rooted one comes out looking like this, I think people will be happy, and it'll be good. It'll be a hit.
You think it'll sell out?
Major advantage of this, well, yeah, 4,000, I'd say. Well, major advantage of this is that, like, it's not behind a 2-pack $1,100 paywall. You know what I mean? Okay,
Right.
you have less chance of getting it because it's 4,000 copies and not like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, whatever. But like, it's not, a lot of people didn't want two Jokers, unless you're like a diehard Dark Knight fan. Like, I didn't mind because I'm a diehard Dark Knight fan. But some people just go, they just, they like it enough to get the figure, or maybe they maybe they are diehards, but they're like, no, I just want this, what's on the screen now. And like, that is good that, they don't have to buy two figures in a diorama if they don't want to. They can basically half the price and just get the figure. I mean, what are you thinking? You still there, Ian?
For me, we're talking about. I'm just refreshing, looking at price on Hong Kong resellers, and on one, I'm seeing 1,000 pieces that they're getting, and it's $635 US for the rooted.
Wow.
What retailer is that?
The TW.
You can say it. The Devil's Workshop. $635.
$635, and sculpted. These are batch one. I don't think. How can you get two batches in an exclusive fit anyway?
TW has like 3 batches or 4 batches sometimes.
Yeah.
Apparently they've got 6,000.
So the sculpted is $493. So
Those prices seem a little high.
Pop has it for the first batch at $495 for the sculpted. So
yes,
How do we sort out that
$342 for
price?
second batch, which is usually more in line with what you're going to get prior to shipping with Sideshow. You know what I mean? So
But this is a big step for Hot Toys, though, isn't it? For price wise,
no,
Yeah.
yes,
this is a massive
635
jump. Yeah.
635 for a rooted figure when you compare the 2-pack in that.
And especially, I've seen some buy sell trades, pretty much selling it brand new for, like $1,000, $900. I mean, I think Inart wins and has the edge in terms of the sculpt, the paint apps, and even the proportions, but specifically the rooted hair. But I can totally understand why someone goes, no, they don't want all those trimmings. But if it's a case is you're paying $635 or something like that just for the rooted on single, and you have to wait, this is probably another 2 years, whereas the 2-packs are available now. I suppose just throwing out some options there. Really quickly, I'm just going to address some of these chats that are coming in. I'm gonna have to check this out on the big screen because I'm having trouble seeing the tongue on my phone. I'm assuming the tongue thing is because he did the tongue flick in the film. I love the way you pronounced
Nice,
film
very
correctly. Yeah, he had prosthetics, and the whole story goes he was using his tongue to keep the prosthetics from falling out, and it became like a tick. We got Alan's 6-scale gallery. I think the body art used, specifically the baked and bad posture, adds so much. His haunch is just iconic. And Inart nailed it. Yep,
Yeah.
that is correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Picking up the sculpted hair. Don't have a Joker and could use one. The rooted is limited in quantity. Yeah, well, the rooted is 4,000. I don't think the other one is limited. Because this one here on the blog, the little blurb, the paragraph that accompanies the photos, it says 4,000. But I checked the sculpted earlier on and it didn't say anything. I expect this and Anakin to be near 500 after shipping. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that as well. Good stuff. All right, so we suppose we may as well just show up that sculpted, because I think it was Dilo. You were saying that you actually prefer the sculpted, so we might actually just get that up there. I gotta respectfully disagree with you. I think I think Inart wins on both of them, to be honest. But I'll say this: Hot Toys are better at sculpted hair. Okay?
Agreed.
So I'll just clarify this now. I do think Hot Toys are I think Hot Toys are phenomenal at sculpts 90% of the time, paint apps, sculpted hair, tailoring, accessories, everything. And they're constantly innovating, and they are the kings and stuff like that. But I just do think that Inart has the edge in this case. Now, when it comes to this hair here, I think the sculpted hair is good. And I remember the Inart one being very, almost looked like snakes coming out of its head, and it was very, very green.
I shared a comparison shot in the down below, Shane, if you want to put something up. I did this morning.
Where did you share it? Oh yeah,
I'm in the sharing if you want to put them up. I got a couple of them for the
cool. What I'll do is I'll get
Ruby.
Dilo's thoughts on this, and then I'll put them up. Thanks very much for sharing them. So what do you think, Dilo?
Well, to the point here, to be clear, I'm comparing the sculpted Hot Toys to the rooted Hot Toys. I think Inart, I agree with you on that side. I think Inart did a much better job there. However, myself personally, I've had rooted hair figures commissioned for myself personally, and I'm of the opinion that mass-produced rooted hair is not anywhere near a one of one that you can potentially get from an artist or something like that does this professionally there. I think when it comes to rooted in general, I don't think the hobby is there yet unless you get somebody specifically to do it. Just because I feel like, what I see from everybody else's pictures of their figures, that, over time, they don't hold up, and you're going to have to start maintaining them yourself. And I'm just not sure if collectives are prepared to, do the necessary steps to constantly keep the figure to look exactly the way it's intended to look like. And then eventually it may not look quite as good over time, and it just may not just have the appeal that it once had. Just my opinion on it there. Now, what I say is, what I've been watching these photos and kind of looking for differences between what I'm looking at my Inart figure now and from the Hot Toys one, I think it's the hairline. The hairline is far too close to it there. Heath Ledger had a more receded hairline to where it's almost like a comb over, if you will, with longer hair. And if you look at if you have your Inart nearby, you can see that it has more of an arc to it on one side over. It's almost like he flipped it all to one side. Whereas,
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
With the Hot Toys one here, it's more of a well-rounded one there. Not so much of it's receded, but more just like he just had a bunch of hair over the top and flipped it over. So for me, the hair is almost as important as the sculpt for Heath Ledger, in my opinion, because once you kind of tweak it and change it, and it doesn't look quite as good as it could be. And I think that's where Inart really nailed the presentation of what Heath Ledger's Joker looked like there. So this is a good version, I would say. If you're thinking between the two, I personally, if I were to grab one, I don't need two Jokers. That's why I didn't get a 2-pack in the first place. I certainly need a Hot Toy and an Inart where I'm satisfied with this one. But if I was a collector and I was in the market for a Joker, I would be more appealing. This one would be more appealing to me than the rooted one. because as a Hot Toy collector as well, I have never seen a Hot Toy rooted sculpt that has ever wowed me to the point of where, okay, I'm 1,000% satisfied with it. It's usually puffy, kind of like the behind the scenes we saw with the Anakin photo that we saw at the showcase. I just don't trust Hot Toys to deliver what the promo photo is going to look like here.
Well, they haven't been using, I mean, up until this point, they haven't used yaks for the wool that they use because it mimics human hair, which is what all the customizers use too. So I do have to just respectfully disagree with you on the rooted hair, though, because I got several figures that have been rooted for several years, and it does depend on your climate. You know, I know that there's some parts of the world in the southern hemisphere that even pleather is just not gonna last. So it may start to frizz, but you get a little Dax wax or something like that, and you just, like, if there's a little hair out of place, just put that on there. But if you're not touching it a lot, like if you're not moving it around and messing with it, it really shouldn't move. They're really pretty solid. But yeah, well, the thing is, though, we haven't seen Hot Toys do this yet, so it can be done. I think they have, they know the techniques. It's just we haven't seen what they produced yet with this type of rooted hair, with wool rooted hair, not the nylon synthetic stuff that they've used in the past. It'll be interesting to see what they do, though. It'll be interesting for sure.
I agree with Dilo in the sense that, like, I've yet to see a Hot Toys rooted hair figure that has looked good, but I see where you're coming.
But that's nylon.
Because it's nylon, it's Barbie hair. So I think
the one thing I'm wondering
Wonder
about
Woman.
sorry, not to cut you off there. The one thing that I have a concern about is, like, when considering the root side specifically for the Hot Toys and even for the Inart, for example, how you get access to the PER system or the Surge system here, whatever you want to call it there.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that on the Hot Toys. Yeah,
you're gonna have to move it if you're rooted. You're instantly touching it right there, and you have to correct it and fit it. And over time, if you're constantly changing that out, it's eventually gonna need to be maintained again and fixed up and corrected there. So, I mean, if it's similar to, let's say, like how other PERs are, like maybe underneath, kind of like a Batman, where you have the little tool to kind of maneuver, that's one thing. But if you're constantly pulling the back out or something like that, like the Inart would be, then realistically,
do you have the sculpted or the rooted? Do you have the sculpted or the rooted?
I chose the sculpted only because the rooted was behind the paywall, like you said there. I didn't want to get too jealous. I see.
So I went with the I got you. Because like, it's almost like there's a layer of hair, and then the back of his scalp detaches. You just kind of pull out the outer layer of the back of his hair. You slip out this. It's just like almost like a disc. It's the back of his head,
right?
And it has like a. It's almost like a rock with moss on it. It has, some of the hair, and then you can adjust the eyes and you pop it back in. But I think the whole thing is that you dial in your pose, and then you don't touch it for another 6 months, and then you redial in your pose. You know, the kind of way, like so. So like. I'll definitely agree with Dilo. Like, clear as day, I've never seen a Hot Toys with a good rooted hair. But Trevor has the counterpoint. Well, they haven't been using the right materials, and I completely agree with him. And then we know that this company are just getting better and better and better. They don't hit the mark all the time. We're going to be taking a look at that Tony Stark later on, and I don't know. Just very, very quick round table. Ian, did they hit the mark on that Tony Stark today?
And not for me, not the sculpt. There's something.
Dilo? Sorry, Ian. Dilo?
Same. Not for me. It looks a little dead in the eyes.
All right. Trevor?
I think it'd be good. The open mouth thing throws me off, though. I don't think they've really done a good job with that yet.
And Dan?
Look.
Sorry, you're muted, Dan. Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry, guys. My connection went down again. What was that?
We were just saying that, like, Hot Toys, they constantly improve different things, and their head sculpts are, generally, like, they're just getting better and better and better, but they don't always hit the mark. And I'm just wondering, like, the Tony Stark that they had today, just like a quick yes or no, do you think they hit the mark with that, or was that a miss today?
I've looked at it quite briefly, but no, not really. It's just there's something off about it. Yeah, just something not right.
Okay. So just before we move on from this, and I will let anyone else, like, if they want to, like, add anything else, but I got the rooted 2-pack. Ian, I think you've got the rooted 2-pack, do you?
Yep.
Dilo, do you have the sculpted single?
Yes, I do.
Trevor, you've got the rooted 2-pack, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And Dan, you've got the rooted 2-pack as well, I think.
rooted 2-pack, but I sold the jail figure. Sold
Gotcha.
half of it.
Okay. So we're probably a bit biased, but I'll just say one thing before. Someone said, like, if we had seen this before Inart, we would have been all over it. I think that I can only speak for myself. I sold like an MMS. It was either 67 or 68. It was one of the old first Hot Toys Jokers, anticipating a 3.0, and then out of nowhere Inart came out. It was just perfect. Like, so like I would have been all over this had I not even heard of Inart. However, I'm glad Inart came out first because I do believe it's better, and I think I'd be sickened if I jumped through the hoops and got one of the 4000s of these, even if it turned out as good as this, and then I see that 2-pack going, oh man, that head sculpt just a bit more lifelike, just has an edge on it. And this is, I don't think on the screen is by any means any means bad. I personally would give Inart the edge with this specific figure. Does anyone else have anything to add on either the rooted or sculpted?
Yeah, if you could share these, I think Bilo kind of nailed it on the hair, because more than I'm looking at this,
Nailed it on the hair.
You can see the receding hairline on the left is Hot Toys, the right, or I'm sorry, the right is Hot Toys, the left is Inart.
Yeah.
And you can see what I'm saying, like about the messiness of the Inart one. It's a little more random and a little more wild. And then there's this one too, which is the image we were just looking at, and you can see that receding hairline, that they missed that. It doesn't go back as far as it should, really.
And the sculpt is much better on the left here, I think.
Much better. But it's a different angle. But that's always that, also that tongue thing. And then here's the rooted, which is, I think, night and day, honestly. Again, look at the hairline on the Inart one, and the hairline on, it's almost like he's wearing a wig in the Hot Toys. And that's a hairline on the Inart. And the other thing I noticed is the weathering. Like, they have weathering on the coat on the bottom of the Hot Toys, but they didn't do any of the lapel or on the shoulder seams of the jacket weathering, which I think just makes that thing look incredible. So I don't know if they're going to change that, but it looks too clean on the top. There's also some differences in the patterns of the ties you can see. So that might be a mistake or something that's coming later, but for accuracy, I think Inart has nailed it. So. But it's it still looks good. It still looks good. I think if people don't have it, I think they'll be happy getting this.
Yeah, the video I published earlier on this, it's got a lot of traction. Certain characters always get traction, and I had it out earlier enough. There's about 1,000 views on it already, and for my channel, that's good. And all the comments, I had I was away today and I didn't get the chance to respond to comments or anything like that, but I had a quick look, and it, pretty much every comment bar like one was like, I give Inart the edge, Inart did it better and stuff like that. So, but then again, I haven't been looking at the Facebook groups and stuff like that. Maybe the feeling is different. Interesting point here. You get nowhere near the amount of accessories that Inart offered, and no magnetic forearms. That is a fair point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Shiny. I just can't believe it comes with a Joker playing card. That's next level. That is good. That's funny. Sean Firmish saying, for me, I chose the sculpted for Hot Toys. One, because it looks better than their rooted, and I choose sculpted for my Inart Joker because I have a weird OCD where I have no rooted figure. I get that. You want them all to... Yeah, I get that. You want them all to be sculpted as opposed to rooted. I think, would that be your logic as well, Dino, or was it just purely the paywall?
For a company I never heard of outside of that, they're a statue company based originally, this being a first figure, and at the time there was only a 3-day window. I wasn't sure how much I want to invest in a company I've never had anything from or never seen anything before. So I played it safe. I didn't like the paywall situation. I would have preferred the rooted at the time, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm very happy with how the sculpted came out. So yeah, I wouldn't take it back. I like the sculpted one, but I do enjoy rooted. I feel like rooted has a place in the hobby when it's certain figures in certain hair lengths. If it's short, I find rooted to be very distracting. Like if you're a short haircut kind of character, it's unnecessary. But if you're a longer hair character where your neck articulation has an issue, I would prefer it to be rooted so I don't lose the articulation in the process. So I have
that's
dependencies on what it is I'm talking about.
Yeah, gotcha. No, that makes sense. Thanks very much for doing that comparison. That's when you put them side by side, it really definitely adds another level to the conversation. Dan, yeah, dealer's choice. Dan, we've discussed the Inart, the Hot Toys rooted and sculpted. So from the drops today, what do you want to talk about next? What we take a look at?
For me, Anakin. Anakin for me.
I shouldn't have asked you that stupid question. I pretty much was fairly sure you were going to. All right, so we'll get this. It will be interesting, though.
I think the Anakin release is well, it's just again what we're talking about with the Joker is that they're putting their cards on the table, aren't they? Hot Toys for something like this, because I think this looks unreal. I mean, I really want to get this. Even if it's mega money, I think you put a deposit down and wait 2 years. You're gonna have 2 years to get this. Will be a while. But this, if they can get, obviously we saw the photos last week that they've never shown again, the sideshow ones that which if that look whatever, it might not have been fussed right or anything like that. But if they can get it looking like this, then we've got a new era of figures from Hot Toys that are going to be crazy. I don't know about you guys, but this is unreal for me. I think it looks fantastic. Apart from, I'd like to know if it's leather and not pleather, and
I've heard people saying it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't say. I read the description today. First thing I did was read the description because I wanted to see.
Yeah. If we're paying that much money, it needs to be leather. It needs to be new body, new cloak, new everything. Yeah.
Big miss.
But are you guys all getting this? Are you guys all going for this?
I'm going to try. Yeah.
Yeah.
This next to the Joker in terms of, this is a more difficult hairline. It's a more difficult styling. So this is going to be a good test. Like I got the Wonder Woman just to see what the hair was like. I'm probably going to turn around and sell it after I get it. But like, that's pretty easy. Especially long women's hair, that kind of part is pretty simple. This is going to be a test right here. Like if this comes out good, looking like this, they're going to have a winning hand in this this little battle between them and Inart. So we'll see. This is pretty incredible. I mean, this looks great here.
The head's
got to make it in a package. It's got to make it. It's got to come out looking like this for everybody, or pretty close to it, and we'll see.
I mean, guys, can you see this selling like instantly? Because obviously the price.
I don't think it's going to last.
You don't.
That's a good question.
That's
I don't know.
The thing I'm saying is that if it's $500, is it going to sell out like that, or people going to go, well, I'm not.
What I feel good about is I'm going to sell the original one that I have, and I don't think I'm going to lose any money on it because I know I keep seeing comments from everybody like, I don't want rooted hair. I don't like rooted hair. Yeah. Why don't you give us a sculpted version of this? And it doesn't look like they're going to. So that first version is still holding, its value. Who knows? Maybe they'll come along with one at some point. Maybe we'll see that today. Who knows?
But these pictures look like it looks like a movie still to me.
It's amazing.
It's scared real. It really is.
It's crazy. It's a great time to be a collector, but not for the wallet. That's what it's going to be.
Absolutely.
It's going to be.
I've been.
It was just rooted eyelashes. I would love.
I've been dodging these bullets left, right, and center. I don't collect sequels.
This is not you, Shane, is it? This is not you.
I don't collect sequels, and I already have the rooted in out, so I'm sitting back going. But like, it's going to be difficult when they do a rooted character that I'm interested in, knowing that I haven't ever seen them release a product with rooted hair that I'm satisfied with. However, the Wonder Woman with the wool hair, I think that's due for release soon. I don't think that's like a 2-year wait job. So I'm really interested to see that. You know?
Yeah. Who would that be, Shane? Who would it be that you would need rooted? I'm trying to think through your like sort of collecting habits, and I'm trying to think who you'd want that you would shell out for a rooted version of that would look better than like sculpted.
I think that's a conversation for the end when you're we're all going, okay, so give
Okay.
us 3 realistic drops that could happen.
Gotcha.
You know, and then give like 3 unrealistic drops. You know, a rooted hair Terminator 2's Sarah Connor. You know, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Ripley.
Like, Ripley, yeah, exactly. Ripley had,
right.
you know,
That would be
you know,
Yeah.
interesting.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
yeah, the curly hair that'd be tricky to get, and to
I've
get
seen
it to
people
look
do
like
it
her.
though. I've seen some really good custom
Hmm.
rooted with the alien, first alien that they changed.
Oh yeah,
into, like,
yeah. People have
they
had it
look
done.
really
It looks great. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
amazing
could do
stuff.
that.
Do you follow? Sorry, pardon, after burping there, Trevor. Do you follow this? Oh, this guy on Instagram. He makes fantastic customs. Doggy Doc or something like that.
Doggy Doc. I have the Spaceballs set coming. Both of those coming from
cool.
him pretty
Oh,
soon.
wow.
Yeah.
Good.
The whole
Yeah.
set.
Yeah, I've just put a down payment on the second, the yogurt and dark helmet. So, which is insane.
Oh,
like all the
cool.
little figures that he comes with.
What
I have
would,
his
like-
ET. I have his ET set that he
Nice.
did, and I
Yeah.
have something else from him. I don't remember. what
I
it
saw
was.
the guy from The Thing. Is it Kurt Russell from The Thing?
Kurt Russell
Russell?
was good. Yeah, I'm not a
That
huge Thing
looks
fan, but it looked amazing.
stunning, though.
Yeah.
How much would something like that, like one of his, just one figure, custom?
The one, I don't know. This is a set. Well, I'm trying to think. ET also came with like 2 ETs, one that went in the basket and one that stood on its own. So that's a little bit of an anomaly. But they are.
Pricey.
This makes me ill to say this, but they're in the thousands.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You'd have to really, really like ET.
But they're all handmade. I mean, you got to
Yeah,
remember that
yeah.
he hand designs everything. He hand paints them, or he has like other artists hand paint them and root them and stuff. So I mean,
So could
they're
be like one of 10, or
it's probably not much more than 20 sets. So most
Wow.
of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
if
very,
I want to call out his Instagram because yeah, I was admiring some of the stuff there. Thankfully, a lot of the stuff he does, I'm like, oh god, you know, phew, I don't need
yeah.
that particular thing. Whatever. Is it
I missed
Doggy
the
Dog Designs.
Doggy Doc Designs. Yeah, I missed the Christmas Story Ralphie that he did, which I was kind of disappointed of. I think I would have liked to have that one.
Yeah, so it's
He does amazing stuff.
yeah, Doggy. So DOGGIE_designs on Instagram. Yeah, he does a lot of customs. Yeah, definitely does Spaceballs. He does the Thing, ET. I saw he did a tiny little Morgan Stark, and like it's so cute. It's a tiny little Morgan Stark, but there's no head sculpt. It's the rescue head sculpt, and she
I've
has the
seen that.
repulsor, and the thing looks huge. She's wearing the little pink cardigan. It's the cutest thing. You just imagine her next to the Mark 85 giving a high five or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, you collect prequels, don't you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's a running joke on the 1 6-pack that I have 3 Anakins, and I don't even really like the character all that much. I had a custom before they came out, and then I ended up buying both that and the Dark Side Anakin. But I mean, I like the look of the character. There are things about the prequels that are fine, but overall, I'm just not a huge fan. But
Right.
yeah, so
Sorry,
this will
I
be
was
my
actually-
4th Anakin.
Sorry, I was actually saying to Ian. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Not my fault. It was probably the accent.
Yeah,
Ian, you collect prequel figures, don't you?
Yeah, and not all of them, just select. So I've got Dark Side Anakin. I won't get this. I've got Padawan Anakin on pre-order, and that's good enough for me. This head sculpt, it looks amazing, but the hair, that's technical hair. It's got layers. That worries me. So I personally wouldn't get that. But yeah,
And is it- it's just the management?
prequels. I'm just worried about the layers in this. This is far more complex than the Joker here, in my opinion. Just because the length, the layers that are in it, there's so much styling to go into this.
Yeah. So this guy
They
comes
need to
with
get this right, though, don't they? This is really.
They do.
This is a big. The Joker's the Joker, but this is like into this is different, and I think this is this is their first one. if you know what I mean. So they've got to get this right, or they're going to have a lot of customers not putting pre-orders down and things like that for future stuff, especially like this sort of, this high end. There's quite a big gamble for Hot Toys.
I've seen a lot of customs, a lot of talented rooters do this, and it has not looked this good. So
yeah,
they can do this pretty good. They all come out of looking a little bit too big, or a little too curly, or a little too. It's
puffy,
a tricky
isn't it?
hairstyle, as
Too
Ian
much
said. It's
volume.
tricky. It's very difficult. Yeah, so you'll see.
We'll just take a very quick look at what he actually comes with. So this is the Hot Toys, obviously 1/6 scale DX Artisan line. So it is a DX, part of the DX line, but this is their Artisan line with the wool hair. So separate rolling eyeball functions, wool hair implantation. It says LED lightsaber powered by USB. And in the description, the way it's phrased, it does suggest it's a lightsaber, not lightsabers. I could be wrong on that, but it says it definitely says lightsaber here, and it says lightsaber in the description. But you do have Dooku's hilt and blade, and you get the swooshing blade, and you have his own blue one, and the swooshing effect as well. A few swap out hands, and then a base which looks like a reused C-3PO base. Mechanized arm. I have read through the small print, and nowhere does it say real leather or improved, leather formula.
They'd be calling that out, I think.
No, it's strange the way you got Days of Future Past, Wolverine real leather jacket. You've got Indiana Jones real leather jacket. I believe the shoes were leather,
Boots, and the whip.
The whip, not the satchel though. But they call that out. But then this is their new DX Artisan line. But it seems like they're half varsing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They should just throw the leather pieces on, live the dream, give us the 2 LED powered. Who is keen on this? I'm wondering who on the panel actually is keen on this.
Totally.
I think everybody is. To be frank, it's too big of an announcement to really ignore. I mean, there's not another Anakin on the market from another company in this case here, so this is one of one, and that's kind of what I was kind of interested when you pointed out that there was not much of a change. There's not much of a point out of any differences like leather, for example. We would all love that there, but you notice when we were just talking moments ago about the Joker, how much detail they went into the tailoring, the authenticity of the shirt, everything. I mean, it was selling you on every point of it as much as they possibly can. I say that's my theory, is because they know there's another product out there that can compete with that one. However, in this situation here, they are the sole provider for Star Wars in 1/6 community, so they don't really have to sell you on this stuff here. You will buy it. They know they will.
Yep.
My only question here is because it's not a question if this will sell out. I mean, I agree with Dan. This is going to be knockout for Hot Toys.
Is this going to be day one? Is this going to be 1 hour gone?
I don't even think it makes an hour. I don't think it lasts that long, honestly. I think we're all gonna be fighting at the starting line, and may the best man win. I hope your connection and for your internet's really good that day. But
I think this is a mistake by Hot Toys doing it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I feel like, and that's where I was going to go. I feel like they're leaving money on the table with this particular character, which is very strange because Hot Toys doesn't typically do that. I honestly, why aren't we getting a sculpted version and a rooted version of this like we are with the Joker? Why the change for Anakin as opposed to, is it because we already have a really good one? I have it. I have the original there. I think it still holds up, even though this one is far superior in my eyes. But why not give collectors a chance on this here? So I believe that this will come out. This will do very well. And I feel like they probably have plans to reuse that sculpt again in the future with something else. Perhaps maybe a 2.0 of the dark side. Same sculpt, maybe rooted, possibly for that one too.
With a real leather tunic.
Look at that. You'll learn a lesson after you get to play the second time. The second time will be, not the first time.
Delo's got a really good point though about it. The thing that's what I can't fathom is why they've gone so limited for such a character that everyone wants. Everyone's been calling for this, and I mean, is it just I don't know. The thing is, what I'm sort of thinking, that's what I'm trying to get my head around, is that if it is $500, are they still going to sell out, within an hour? will people go, oh well, I can't afford that, or we're gonna, But like you said, this is the only one on the market. There isn't another Anakin. You can't buy the other two anyway. So
I think as a test out of the gate, like it's better to have less and sell out than have produce more than
these can't be cheap to produce, I can imagine, either, can they?
Exactly. All this hair has to be done by hand. I mean, there's no machines that are gluing these things in. So this is expensive stuff to do. I've said that over and over again with the Inart stuff. And the fact that Inart can give you that figure, that entire figure for $500, to me, having been, buying stuff for this long from handmade by other people, blows my mind. So if they can do this for $500, I think it's incredible. But it's not for everybody. I see everybody everywhere saying, I don't want hair. I don't want to have to take care of it. I don't want it to, it's going to fall apart in my climate, whatever. I just don't want it. So I think they're testing the waters with this stuff, and we'll see what happens with the different properties and stuff like that. So Star Wars, DC, et cetera, and see what people bite on.
So we got Ian, who's out on this one, Dilo, who's in on this one, Trevor, who's in on this one.
Yep.
And Dan, I think you're in on this one too. Would that be correct? Or I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, I mean, until I can't get one. That's the thing, isn't it? We'll all say we're in, but it's going to be like, for me, Glastonbury tickets on a Friday morning, like trying to get one on the phones.
I'm wondering though, like, how are you going to approach it? I mean, if you're sideshows, if you're in the States and sideshows your go-to, you fill in the RSVP and it's either a lottery or one of those things where you have to make it a point of being at your computer, like 10 minutes before that time or whatever and blah, blah. But like, I maintain that these can probably be got from Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
Resellers. So like, what's your angle, Dan? Are you going to go sideshow and try to jump through those hoops, or do you have a retailer?
I'll look at the guy that I normally get it off, who's a Hong Kong. He imports from Hong Kong. He's pretty good, but I might just bite the bullet and go sideshow, just because you've got the deposit scheme and all that sort of stuff, and you're going to get it with them. Well, hopefully. They have cancelled stuff before, but then I'm going to have to take a hit on the import tax and things like that. So the import sort of fees, probably, I don't know. The problem is it's probably better off going with sideshow because you're going to get it in that sort of sense. Where if you go with the Hong Kong sellers, the third party sellers, they might not get the batch. You don't know.
Well, there's 4,000. Worldwide, sideshow won't get all 4,000.
They'll get 1,000, won't they? Actually, yeah.
I think Pop put up that they had 800.
Okay,
which seems high for Pop. I don't know.
It does seem high.
They're not. I mean, they're bigger, but they're not one of the biggest, and that seems like a lot for them. But
I didn't think about that actually.
I was able to get. I was able to get Wonder Woman, like hours, maybe. Was it the next day after it went up on Sideshow on one of the Hong Kong dealers? But that's Wonder Woman. It's not Anakin. Anakin's a lot. I think.
But the other thing as well, like we keep saying, it could be $500. That is going to be a price. People are going to be.
Yeah, and with Star Wars fans, you just had the Ghost come out if you're like collecting.
Oh yeah.
Vintage collection as well. So
how much is that
coming out?
It was
$500.
800.
Sorry, folks. You're rudely interrupted by R2, who's talking about these super chats. Just going to address these chats before we continue on with the conversation. We got a $5 super chat from Positive Fandom. I like the name. Really do appreciate that. Hey, gents, it's there are no gentlemen here. Positive Fandom. Hi, gents. I'm definitely getting this Anakin. I love the hair. I even got the chosen one because it had hair. I'm gonna see if I can make his hair his hair below. is that how I'm interpreting it? As in you're gonna make the the curtain
carpet match the drapes.
Yeah. Go you. Positive Fandom, I do appreciate the $5 super chat. Best of luck with that custom job.
I think he probably manscapes because he doesn't like the sand, right? It probably maybe
it gets everywhere. It's coarse,
Exactly.
That is actually some of the worst dialogue I've ever seen in any movie. Just that, you know what
Agreed.
he's like, what to say? My heart
Shane.
aches for you and stuff like that. It's what's
Painful.
it? Yeah.
I think positive fandom's actually Artem. It's Rita.
Oh, is it? All right, this
Yeah.
is Rita, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
sure. We met.
Hey, Rita. There's you.
Hey. I didn't realize. I didn't join the dots there. I'm not as good at Leelle at doing that sound effect, but I tried my best. But this is brilliant. We met her in Star Wars Celebration. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And best of luck with the custom job. Let me know how it turns out. I probably don't want to see it, but let me know how it turns out. Thanks very much, Rita. We got Phil, one of our channel members, and he's got the Blue Wrench. If Lion Rock offered, I presume that's free of charge for a review, would you consider prequel trilogy figures? Something's free of charge. I mean, you'd be a fool to say no. But I still think I'd be kind of selective, as in like I like okay. I would like a mall. I would like a mall with that double-bladed lightsaber, the CCFLs, and a Qui-Gon and an Obi-Wan. You know what I mean? There's some fantastic troopers from the prequels. But that'd be what you call, that would be a bittersweet problem. You'd have free figures, which is super, but I'm running out of space. You know what I mean? And then you'd be kind of having these figures that you don't necessarily want. And to be honest, the more I think about it now, that's not a ball game I'd really want to get into. Now, if they want to offer me free of charge figures that I actually want, different story. I think I haven't think about that. I think I'd prefer to. No, I wouldn't like to collect things just because they're free. To be honest,
Shane, if you get it, I'll give you 300 quid for it.
Good, that's what I'll do. I'll keep it, I'll review it, and then I'll pass it on to you. We'll work something out. But good question though. Good question. Yeah, I think it's because of the limited space they have. I like to look at every piece in the collection and going like, yeah, you're a banger, you're a banger, you're a banger. And like sometimes, like just at the weekend, I realized I hadn't reposed Mysterio or even looked at Mysterio in months. So I sold them. And if I change my mind, I can always get them back. But I've yet to sell a figure and actually bring it back into the collection. And I know that happens, especially veteran collectors. I know that it's Dilo, did you recently bring back a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Star-Lord
Deluxe? Yes, correct. That was my first ever Marvel figure, and I sold them because I was kind of phasing out Marvel at the time, and I realized I couldn't realistically do that years later, and I found a good solid deal, and I brought him back into the collection, so he will stay there from now on.
And did it kind of irk you when you sold it? Did you realize, no, that was a misstep? How long did it take you to figure out that you wanted it back in the collection?
Almost immediately, if I'm being honest, just because that was the first figure that started it for me in the Marvel side. I'm a big Guardians fan, and I think that's the best representation of Star-Lord we've ever seen out of the three films. So it was bittersweet. Like I knew there was going to be ones that I'm glad they're gone, and there was ones that I was going to be really I was going to miss a lot. I got him back recently in the past year. I got Yondu back. So I mean, I'll be a big man enough to admit when I wish I thought a little bit more about it before I did it, but at the time it seemed like a good idea. But they're here now. Gotcha. That's all that matters.
Gotcha. Yeah, good stuff. And that's the one. Is that the one with the shorter coat or the longer coat? Shorter coat, isn't it?
It comes with both. The Deluxe has
cool.
very, very exclusive trench coat that everybody sees. So yes,
that is pretty damn cool. Good stuff. Really quick, just want to catch up with some of the chats. So we got Michael. I'd be more sold on this if we knew we were getting a rooted Obi-Wan. Yes, and you know what always irks me? The fact that you've got an amazing Darth Maul from Episode 1 with the blood fin, and you've got a Qui-Gon. That's not the most mind-blowing figure, but he's there. But there's no Obi-Wan from Episode 1. That's very strange. And just looking down here through the chat,
It's great.
we've got another. That's just the R2. There's different sound effects for different ones, but we got again, Rita. Thank you very much. You're making it rain here. I do appreciate it. Make his hair blow in the wind, and yes, it's Thanks very much, Rita. I do appreciate it. Must get you on an episode of Visions sometimes.
Andre below her said, "Bellow, you animals," which is 2 L's, not below. Which I thought it was just a misspelling of below because it made more sense than bellow, but I guess bellow is a thing that.
Yeah, I completely that went
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I think maybe she said that to start the conversation.
Possibly.
She's a clever one, and we definitely knocked about 5 minutes out of it anyway. Ben Thomas, thank you very much for being here. It was on Ben Thomas's show last night. If you haven't subscribed to Ben Thomas, definitely do check him out. Just doing fantastic work over there. And Let's Get Nuts, his live stream every Sunday, is very, very good. This man will turn down free figures. And who else do we got? Anyone else? Everyone's there. This one here. I would bet this releases around 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith. This company released Pennywise at Christmas. I've said it before. I will say it again. Okay. So
Pennywise
we'll
is
move
a
on to
Christmas
this one.
figure, Shane. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Just like
it's kinda
Die Hard
the
is a
elf on the
Christmas
shelf,
movie.
is it? Yeah, yeah. So right, who Delo's had a choice, and I think Dan, you've had a choice. So Ian, what do you want to talk about?
Let's go for Symbiote Spider-Man.
I thought you were going to pick that one. It really was a bit of a tsunami today, wasn't it? Because the first thing I saw was you linked me. I think it was this exclusive accessory with this Symbiote Spider-Man. I'll get this one, this exact one. That was the first thing I saw this morning, and then I gradually saw the rest of them coming in. So this is from the Spider-Man, the PS5 Spider-Man 2 game. Would that be correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And is this isn't technically Venom, is it? This is
Just the symbiote suit, I
Yeah,
think.
it's just
Right.
the yeah.
so they're
Venom.
building up to Venom, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah, Venom's in the game as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, go on. Do you want to just have tell us, give us your thoughts on this, or why you selected it, or why you want? I know you're definitely getting this, but
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm getting this. I typically, apart from some comic book stuff, I don't typically do the video game. Although I've got the a couple of figures from the original Spider-Man game, and then Miles Morales. And I thought that was going to be the end of it, and then I saw the early works. I'm quite a big gamer, so I play the Spider-Man games, and when I saw this come out, I just thought, wow, we're in for a treat here. So I'm just going to jump in on this line. I absolutely love this. For me, this is much better than the head sculpts that we've got with Venom before. I just love this, how it looks with Spider-Man. And my favourite picture is when the spider legs are out, and it's with the sculpt. That is absolutely amazing. That what you could do with that, photography wise, etc. That just looks. Oh, geez. I know Trevor must be salivating.
Don't tempt me, Ian, because this is also something I avoid is the video game stuff. I love that 2099 Miles, and I almost picked up that, but gee, this is wild, man. This is incredible.
Yeah,
I won't do it, but it's amazing.
Oh, I don't
Maybe.
want
I don't
to
maybe.
you, but this has got presence.
Maybe. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm just, there's a few characters that I'm really, really big on. It goes back to the childhoods and the early comics. Spider-Man's just there for me, so I love this.
Yeah, it's
I gotta
different.
say-
Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
It's different from I had that Secret Wars comic book where he first appeared. I got that when it came out. That's how old I am. But it's got the little sort of grooves and panels in it and stuff like that, which is interesting. But I like the take on it. You know what I mean? Why couldn't it make that sort of form? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this smooth thing. And I love the texture on it and the shininess of it. It just looks really, really good. Beautiful.
Yeah. And the spider legs give it another dimension. There's this thing here. Two things I thought when I saw this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Ian was the first person to link me this. When I saw that, the first person I thought of was Alan, the 6-scale gallery, and he goes, "Oh, he's gonna love this." Alan, if you're still watching the chat, let us know if I'm right or not. I'm pretty sure that this is you all over. Second thing, as I said, exclusive special edition. They did this one right. This is no hologram. This is something people really, really want. Like, I know some people collect the holograms, and I don't care for holograms, but this is like a good accessory that people genuinely would want.
You'll kick yourself if you don't get that sculpt. That's
I think so. Yeah, it looks stunning. I'm really glad. If there's any newbies in the chat, one bit of advice I'll give you as a newbie, like, look, I tend not to dish out advice in the channel. I just tell you, look, this is what I do. Take what you want from it. But in terms of a simple advice, rule out lines that aren't as important to you. I have never seen a Spider-Man from the VGM line that didn't look cool. They've got an amount of amazing stuff. I don't think I've ever seen a clone from the Clone Wars that didn't look cool or appeal to me on some level. But I'm not a gamer, and I'm not like, knee deep into the Clone Wars, so it's easy for me to rule out those lines. It's not so easy if you grew up in the Clone Wars and you're a diehard gamer, but find maybe if a few lines you're like, yeah, I don't really care about them. And if you can, just draw a line in the sand. In terms of sustainability, it might keep you in the hobby that bit longer. Anyone have anything to add to that, Dilo? What would you say? You're a very seasoned collector. You've been in the game a long time.
Yeah,
so is Trevor as well.
Big Spider-Man fan as well. Play the games, love them. They're fantastic. This is certainly a wonderful consolation prize for anybody who missed out on Miles Morales and Peter Parker last week there. So that's a really nice little gift there. I love it. It's fantastic. I mean, I can't just echo what everybody else has already said here. The suit has this kind of wet kind of feel, like look to it there, like it's constantly moving in a way, which is really nice on a figure, because it's just like, it's very hard to pull off. So my hats off to Hot Toys on this one here. It's stunning. I particularly love pieces of the symbiote kind of on the back end of some of the spider legs, their arms, whatever you want to call it there, and it just brings the whole aesthetic of the moment together, especially with the exclusive. Oh my goodness, that headpiece is beautiful. But this is, unfortunately for me, this is one of those places where I draw the line, kind of like Shane says here. Like, I really do enjoy the game. I love the character without question. But for me, I tend to keep myself more in check and keep myself more to movies and TV shows. That way I have room to collect a little bit more of everything here, because this is going to be a very deep line, and it would be easy for me to pull me into something like this here. But I'm going to hold my ground here. As much as I love this, as much as I really love it, I don't have to have it. So I'm gonna let everybody else enjoy this one.
I'm gonna counter both you and Shane.
There's nothing to counter.
Now that you've talked everybody out of buying this, because it's not going to really fit your collection. I have this comic book where, some of these toys of the X-Men, and I just saw that Iron Man that I love. I know, Shane, you don't love it, but I like that Iron Man. This would fit.
Which the
new one that they showed that looks, that you were saying looked like a grown-up 12 or 6-inch figure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, got you.
Yeah, that
wouldn't
one.
be for me.
Yeah,
that
one.
Wouldn't be for me.
The comic book one. So, but this would actually fit on the shelf. It's not too far off, except for the little. It's kind of an enhanced version of what the comic book looked like. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think it would fit right on the shelf with my X-Men. So, I think I just talked myself into this. I think I just talked myself into it.
Do it.
That must have been very hard for you, Trevor. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It took all of 3 minutes, so it wasn't that hard.
That piece is very unique. Like, you mightn't get that again,
Yeah.
So like Ian's in, Dilo's out on this one. Trevor, you look like you just convinced yourself. We had nothing to do with that. And Dan, I'd say I'm guessing this is a pass for you.
It is. I play like similar to the guys. I've got a PS5, so I played the first game. I've not played the second one yet.
Slippery slope.
When's this out? When's this game out?
I think October, I heard.
Okay, so
October,
I mean, I'll definitely get it. I'm not a Marvel collector at the moment. I think the only Star Wars. God, Star Wars in my head. The only Spider-Man figure I'd probably get is that new Tom Holland one that's going to come out. The end of, the last one. That's
sure.
What was it called? what did they call it? You know, the one in the one he
The
swung
final
at the
suit
end.
he was wearing. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
final
that one.
swing.
Final
Yeah.
swing.
Yeah, just because the head sculpt looks great and they fix their
Yeah.
neck and it looks great. So
Mhm.
that's the only one to do. I think I'm going to go similar to some of the guys here that I don't. I'd more likely go down the movie route more than anything. So I think we're obviously it's going off subject slightly, but I'm going to go back into Marvel once they announce Drax and Mantis because I want to get all the Guardians. So that's when I'll get all the start again with the Marvel line, and I just want to start with them, and then it obviously will grow. But that's what I want to do. But for me, this looks amazing. This figure,
Yeah,
absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, so much shelf presence, and so I saw someone on the chat saying a lot of space. You know, it's going to take up quite a bit of space if you want to, you know, pose it like that. But it just looks great.
That
Doesn't
is
it? I mean,
super.
it's awesome.
Oh,
It's definitely something that, you know, I would consider if, you know, I had the space and was into Marvel because it looks great. I mean, could you, you know, I mean, with the guys that do collect Marvel, would you put this next to a film, you know, one of the movie characters and something like that? Would it not matter? I know that's for me sometimes like
Look at
crossing the streams in Ghostbusters. You know, you don't do that.
I don't really care about that stuff, but I'd put it with a comic collection. If you, I mean, there's not a lot of people that have like comic 1/6 collections. I mean, there's some X-Men out there and stuff like that, but I would put it with that. But I wouldn't have a problem putting it with MCU stuff.
This is a cool,
No,
it's just
no.
a simple.
It's so good.
This is a simple but cool pose, just like he's getting taken over.
No, it's
Yeah, man.
It reminds me of Part 3 when Toby did it at the bell tower. When he was
Yeah.
fighting the symbiote. That's what this reminds me of.
And I like that there's 4 Waldos. I like the balanced look of that. They're just.
Does anyone know
I
the
don't
price
more
on this?
pleasing.
Yet?
No.
No.
Yep,
Interesting.
because I ordered it earlier today.
Is it up for pre-order?
It is from the company I buy from.
Oh, okay.
You can say it. We all know.
You can,
We
yeah,
all know.
yeah.
The Devil's Workshop.
That's
so,
where Ian gets his. That's why Ian is such a good dancer. He's constantly dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. He's got the moves.
I'm starting to
He's got
see
the
some
moves.
horns come up there.
Yeah.
You know, there's little bumps right here.
We got
Yes,
Brian Fontaine. Again, there's a lot of people who have helped me along the way and contributed towards asking me onto their live stream and all that kind of stuff and giving me advice. And anyone from Lael 16 Scale Man to Markov 16 Fix to Collecting Weekly to, of course, all the people who watch and stuff like that. But during the pandemic, I started watching this channel called 6 Scale Scavengers. And the pandemic, look, I hate referring back to it, but you couldn't have a pint, you couldn't go to the cinema, you had to stay within a 5-kilometer radius, so you naturally leaned on the hobbies that you could do from the comfort of your own home. And as a collector, definitely getting engaged more with the YouTube, the platform and stuff like that. It was nice being able to turn on the Scavengers live and they'd respond to your comments and stuff like that. It was like, this is like having a bunch of collectors in my living room, having a beer here, you having your... We call them crisps. I know you call them chips over in America. We call fries chips over here. But they're just a great bunch of lads at TC and Letty and Brian. And my people have been talking to his people, and there might be a little bit of a collab coming up. So looking forward to that. But thanks very much, Brian, for being in the chat, and I appreciate that. We got Mike L. Of course, he's saying, I don't collect Spider-Man figures yet, but I do collect comics. I'd love to pose this guy in the Secret Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Cover pose. There we go. Good stuff.
That's good.
Good stuff.
It'd be amazing.
Excellent. Venomized Shane would buy this. No way. He'd be too busy acting like Bully Maguire. Right. So we got, I think we're ready to talk about. We'll have a look at that Tony Stark, if that's all right with everyone.
Oh, I was hoping we'd go to Kamen Rider. I have like 5 people who don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll actually.
No,
we'll, I have no idea what this does. Anybody? I don't know. Do you know?
It's a very Power Rangers type of thing. It's been going on since like the 70s, I think. It's a long running
so
show,
you can
and it's super popular.
educate us.
But I can't really beyond that. That's as far as I can go.
So
I know
what's
this
it
is the
called?
bad guy.
Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider. Yeah, it's
Shadow
basically guys in suits. The kind of Power Rangers style, but they ride on bikes, motorcycles,
like
souped-up
the
motorcycles
Tobey
and stuff
Maguire
like
Spider-Man films.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Everyone just laughed now. Everyone just left. I think we got some Toby fans here. Dilo, you're a big Toby fan, aren't you?
I am.
I'm a Toby fan.
Ian? Is Ian frozen?
Toby fan.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again, Shane.
Are you a Toby fan?
Toby Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's just because you're talking about Kamen Rider.
Stop teasing.
Oh,
Sam.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like a poor deer in the headlights right now.
Yeah.
I like
Guys,
Toby.
I've got to bounce.
I like Toby.
So, right. You're
I've got to go,
away,
guys.
Dan?
So, but it's really good meeting you, Trevor.
What's
Dilo.
up?
Nice meeting you, Dan.
Thanks
Yeah.
very much for coming on, man.
No worries. I'll speak soon. See you later, guys.
Take care,
See you
Dan.
then.
Cheers. See
Take it
you
easy.
later.
Take it easy.
So
You were
Toby
saying
is
there.
Spider-Man.
Pardon?
So you're asking if I like Toby as Spider-Man? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I just like one of the things I didn't like about the Tobey Maguire movies is that, say, like the first movie when the dude was wearing, the Green Goblin was wearing the outfit, it just reminded me of Power Rangers a bit. That's all. So that's
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not my favourite Spider-Man, but I still enjoyed the movies. Still enjoyed watching him.
Gotcha. So this is this based? Is this an Asian product or
Japanese.
Yes.
So,
Japanese?
Mhm.
All right,
Japanese, yep.
so this is massive. This when I worked in Japan, it's huge, but I don't know much about it. It's
Huge.
not my
Yeah.
kind of thing, but it's huge in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is from the latest incarnation of it. I mean, it's been going on for a while, and they looked a little more like they had a little bit simpler suits, I think, back in the day. But it's basically, jump off the bike and do some martial arts moves and stuff like that and fight, and, and
And is it aimed
Guys
at
in
like
suits.
younger kids, or is it?
I think it originally was, but not Power Rangers level. I think it's gotten a little more mature over the years. So I think it's more
right.
like
Okay.
some of the Power Rangers movies or something like that. A little more
Gotcha.
mature.
Good stuff. Well, I
look
thanks
great.
for the heads up. I know nothing about these.
Completely out of my depth on this one here.
Yeah. This is. I think the last time they did something like this was it Tyler and Johnson from Warriors of Future?
Oh
Correct.
yeah.
I think I watched the first half of that movie. It didn't hold my attention, but I will go back and watch it in its entirety because I thought those figures were awesome.
Mhm.
But I was kind of nearly hoping that I wouldn't like the movie because I didn't want to get sucked in. And he got the what's this called? The Battle Hopper. So this is his bike,
Yeah,
obviously.
the bike. Yeah.
So is the main character the Kamen Rider?
I think so. That's where I don't know. I don't know if they are Kamen Riders or if there is a Kamen Rider. I thought there was many of them, or at least a few
Right.
of them that were like there were good ones and there were bad ones. But I'm not really sure what the term means.
I love looking at the detail that they put into all these like bikes and stuff.
Bike
All the
is
engines that
beautiful.
came with.
Incredible. Incredible.
Like
looking
the
bike.
leather over the seat there, all snapped onto the. That's pretty cool.
Nice
Now is that
touch.
leather? Or
Well,
is it
no, I mean
leather?
it's probably
Yeah.
it's probably
Plastic.
plastic actually.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right,
Cool.
so we'll move on anyway to Mr. Stark. So Trevor, do you want to take the reins on this one, or anyone?
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious about a lot of things about this thing. There are times when this sculpt looked better in some of the other shots. Here it looks a little. I don't know if the head's too high or something. I don't know what's throwing me off. I think it's the open mouth. It's not bad. It may just be the way that they've got the eyes. I think it's the open mouth. I think the open mouth throws me off, and I think he's got too high a forehead. I don't know. There's something a little bit wrong, but it's not horrible. It's not a horrible sculpt.
Yeah, it's a combination of things for me here. I'm going to piggyback off what you just said, Trevor, just because the open mouth is not doing this sculpt any justice. But
No.
it's the sunken eyes too. Like in the left one, it's more pronounced than it is on the right picture. It looks like they're a little too deep in for Robert Downey Jr. And honestly, like I'm looking at this here, and it's just reminding me of a movie, Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know if anybody's seen it there, but Leonardo DiCaprio's character has an addiction to a certain kind of fun time thing, we'll call it there. And he looks like he's just
Preludes.
thank you. All right, I didn't want to say it on show. I didn't know what's allowed and what's not allowed. But yeah, it looks like he's been having too much fun this past weekend, and Yeah, he looks a little off. He looks a little off. He looks like he's not here with us right now. Like the lights are on, but they're nothing spinning in there. If you catch my drift, you know.
I wonder if that's the
yeah, I can
combination
see
of the
that now.
open mouth
Yeah.
and the way they've got the eyes positioned, though, because it just kind of looks like somebody just like smacked him in the face or told him.
It's
You know what I
something
mean?
going on
Like it's
there,
kind of like a.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes
They-
the eye positions they put these in doesn't work for the skull.
They elongated. I thought the Mark 4, no, sorry, the Mark 6 2.0 sculpt. They had a kind of a strange, cheeky expression. I actually quite liked it, but they elongated his. It's like they put an extra wrinkle into his head, which elongated the space between like his
Hairline, right? Yeah.
his hairline and
It's
his.
too
It's like
tall.
there was an extra section in there or something. You know, but like it's funny because I find Hot Toys lately, they're either nailing the sculpts like Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're hitting around the 7 and you're kind of going, yeah, I can see it, but there's something up. So you don't immediately go, wow, mind blowing. But
Right,
you go,
like
yeah, I
Keaton.
know who it is, but it's just a bit like,
Yeah.
you know?
I just
Yeah,
feel like
I
Hot
thought about
Toys is
Keaton,
stubborn.
yeah.
They just refuse to stop the open mouth. They never get that right. I mean, we just saw the Joker earlier
Yeah.
in the show. And it just seems like they're so stubborn. They refuse to give this up for some reason. It just you can be a one-trick pony on this here. Keep the mouth closed, and there's less for you to worry about, and there's less for us to complain about. The mouth is just really throwing
I don't
me
think
off.
anybody's calling for an open mouth. I'm not really sure.
No
Like if he
one's
was
asked.
yelling or something, like I would take that as a secondary sculpt. Would be kind of
Ready?
cool,
You know what
but,
they
like,
should have
Open
done?
mouth
They
and a
should have.
tongue. I mean, they
They should have sculpted. They should have sculpted his face with G forces on it, as if he was actually falling out of a
That
building.
would
have
be-
been
I would love
hilarious.
that.
That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
But you know what? Like this T-shirt is this the T-shirt he was wearing?
No,
I thought he was wearing a
No, Black Sabbath.
yeah.
Black
It was,
Sabbath,
but they
yeah.
they can't license Black Sabbath. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
No, the thing is,
I think it was Never
can't-
Say Die, so it was similar, but it's not. Not that shirt.
because I
Yeah.
remember in the movie, like he always had like kind of cool like rock or metal T-shirts on a lot of time. And
Yep.
I remember in that scene he was wearing a metal T-shirt or something. So this isn't actually a T-shirt then, because of licensing,
No.
I presume. But
Yeah,
I'd imagine. I wonder if people get this. Will they get the little customized one and put it in there like the Nikes for?
I'm sure somebody will be making it for.
Somebody
I'm
will.
Sure. Of all the suit ups though, I think this is pretty cool. Like
It is cool.
I think it is pretty cool. More so than the pod that the
Yeah.
Mark 7 transforms into. I can see people buying 2 Mark 7s and posing it so that the pod, is maybe at the top or something like that, and then you have this underneath, and then you got the Mark 7 or something like that showing the transitions or something like that. But
My question for this is, how do it work? Like, I don't understand. Does it wrap? Does it actually wrap? The pieces come apart and actually wrap around the figure, or is I really don't understand how
Well,
this is
I
going
imagine it's like the
together.
Mark 5 suit up that came
Is
out
it just
recently,
this,
right?
and then there's another version of it that's around him, or does it actually wrap around him and like move?
Oh yeah, I get you. Does it clip on?
Yeah, because he stands there and then like he's got it partially on in one of these shots, and like how does it go from this to that? Like, is it
Does
multiple
the actual
pieces?
articulate maybe?
Right. Or is it just you either get this or you get the other? Probably that's the case. You probably get this or you get the other one.
I don't know. I'd say you could pose them like this, and then the feet articulate. I'd say it articulates. Or let's see. I see. Yeah,
See, like his feet are going into it there, and then I think there's another one where his feet aren't even in the first one. Aren't even in the piece where he's falling down. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, what is that?
That would suggest that it's the figure, and then this piece is able to articulate and wrap around in different ways, though.
Yeah. It's
But
really
I've heard
interesting.
horror stories about the Mark V suit up.
I'm sure.
Did anyone pick
Yeah.
that one up? I think it was like
No.
it was supposed to be a nightmare to clip pieces together, and then when it clipped on, it was kind of cutting into the suit, and there's pieces breaking and stuff.
Oh yeah, this is ridiculous. Ridiculous. That is not
What
going to
don't
hold
you
that
like
up.
about it?
That is not going to hold that up. That stupid thing. Come on. Think of the weight of this thing, like in the angle he's at. There's no way that's being held up by that flight stand. There's no way.
Well, is it diecast?
I don't know, even if it's not die-cast, that angle, it's just
Yeah.
not going to work. Unless it's underneath him. It's crazy. I really thought it was going to come with a specialized stand that would like hang him or something like that.
Yeah. So I'm guessing no one's picking this up then.
No,
Keep a cut from me.
We're not.
Yeah, yeah. I
Get the
think it's
hint.
pretty cool.
No more Iron Man, please.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, but
It is cool.
Very
yeah,
niche.
As in, it is very niche. I think the diehard Iron Man fans are going to bite us all day.
Oh,
I've heard multiple times that like any sort of robot or Iron Man is massive in Asia. They must be selling it to keep making them, supposed to keep the lights on. I do think this is pretty cool. If you know what, if you are a diehard Mark 7 fan and you have the diecast Mark 7, you got the space for this. This would probably make perfect sense.
yeah.
Even
great
like
display.
I have a Mark 6, but I still keep thinking about that goddamn circular gantry. Like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It haunts me. It haunts me.
If
So,
this had the Black Sabbath shirt, I'd buy it. No.
That would be enough. That would be enough to push
That's
over.
it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
But
it.
Black Sabbath, didn't they have a song called Iron Man that was used?
Yeah.
In the first movie. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Good stuff. I just want to check in the chat here. Phil is pulling no punches, saying he has the Mega Mind forehead, and then Oddball69 he's insulting
these
two
are
people
true.
at once. He's got the Chris
All true.
Pine forehead.
true.
We got S Beam. Stefan, how are you? Shiny says there's a Middle Eastern director he reminds me of. His skin looks like milk you can find at the bottom of the mug. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe I shouldn't read that out. I need to start proofreading some of the things that Shiny says. Since this is the first Avengers movie, I hope that they make a new Hulk from it. I think a lot of people are crying out for that Hulk.
Due for a
actually.
new Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a licensing issue with T-shirt and for it has to be.
Yeah,
Of course
figures.
You can't just. Yeah. So like, yeah, you know what? Like, I've been dodging a lot of bullets lately, like, and I think today, like the Sideshow Con, I know a lot of that stuff's going to end up in purgatory and they're not actually going to release it, but there was nothing really there. I was going, I really want them to put that up for solicitation or pre-order.
No.
And today, I think I'm safe enough as well. Like, I said, if I didn't have the Inart rooted, I'd be 100%. I'd be more interested in that Joker, definitely. But
Right.
I think I've got Unscathed today, so Ian's already put the hands in the pockets for that Spider-Man, and
It's in my
Is
cart
that-
right now, Ian. I'm
there you
hovering.
go,
good.
there you go. Yeah. So we'll move on to I don't think there's anything else that we missed out on.
Did you guys ever talk about the Mandalorian, the tease they did for?
We can put that up before we get onto the kind of main topic. Yeah. So I'm just
That's
want to
probably
make
going to
sure
be a buy from me.
we've touched on everything here. Yeah, I think so. Oh, the League of Legends. That's another thing. I have no idea what this is. I'm happy to pass on it unless anyone particularly wants to talk about it and can educate me.
I will say that there's a great animation on Netflix called Arcane, which is based on League of Legends, but is not a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. I know nothing about the game, but the animation is amazing. So
Arcane.
Called Arcane, yeah.
Arcane. All right, and that's on Netflix.
Very, very good. Yep.
I saw that photo this morning. I know so little about it. I legitimately thought that was Alita. Battle
Yeah,
So
it
did
looks.
I.
It
So
does
did I,
look
yeah.
a little
So did
Alita-ish,
I.
That was the
for
first
sure.
thing I thought. It's like, oh,
Somebody
No,
said there's like
it's-
70 characters from that game. Like, so if that's going to be a series, good luck.
Yeah.
strap
So,
in,
guys, it
folks.
actually is Alita. It is Alita.
Is it?
Yeah. That's Alita in the game. And there's
Really?
actually 162 characters.
Oh my god.
Wow. That's crazy.
Wow.
So they're not going to be completing that line then.
Hey.
So back to kind of more regular programming. Dilo, you said straight away, you chimed in and said straight away that this is you're interested in this, yeah?
Absolutely.
Go for it.
I'm all in on Mandalorian. I love collecting their figures there. It's bringing back. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I like the direction Filoni and Favreau is, so I'm very supportive of their lines there. So very much looking forward to this. Can't wait for Ahsoka next month. That is going to be very exciting stuff there.
Oh my God.
Plus, I mean, off subject. I'm sure you guys already heard about the HasLab fund right there for. There's so much goodness. You ordered it? I'm still debating. Is there any room left on there? Because it was filling up fast.
I think they're about 7,500. They're about 500 away from this thing closing. It's going to definitely close.
Might be my 500 to put them over the top there. But yeah, I mean, I big fan. I mean, the season as a whole, definitely left a lot to be desired. But I'm a big fan of the villain here. I mean, I'm a big fan. I'd like the upgrade on him there. I thought the finale did justice to kind of forgive the bulk of the middle of the season there. So, if there's not an extra Mando I need to collect or gold version of that or whatever like that, I'm going to 100% put this on the top of my list. I like a good pure villain, and a good villain is definitely needed in that display of mine. So.
And how long have you been collecting clones for?
Clones? Gosh. I am out of the clone business, Shane. You know this. I'm out of the clone business.
This guy could be a clone, man.
He could. I hope it comes with a head sculpt, though. That's one thing. I hope it's an updated head sculpt.
Yeah. I love Breaking Bad. If I had to pick my favorite TV show, I would pick Breaking Bad. And one of the massive reasons, the highlights of that show is obviously Gustavo Fring and Giancarlo Esposito, and I thought he was fantastic. And he's in the Get Down. He plays this kind of crazy kind of a pastor. He's fantastic in that. He's fantastic in The Boys. I thought he real presence. He's just one of those guys who has presence on screen. So loved him in season 1 and 2. I really liked the simplicity of his outfit in season 1 and 2, but I did not care for the head sculpt that came with that particular figure.
Agreed.
I just didn't. It didn't hit the threshold for me. I don't need every single, I do collect for realism. I want the figures to be as realistic as possible. I want the shrunken down 6-scale version of the character as close as possible. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to accept something that's a 9 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10. Of course I have to, but I just feel it didn't hit the threshold for me enough to pull the trigger on it. But the catch-22 here is that I didn't like season 3, and as much as I think this outfit is cool, I just, even the scenes with him, I felt that it was a bit underused. Whereas if you look at something like the Book of Boba Fett, I don't think that was a good show. But I'm going to admit it, that scene when Cad Bane walked out of that desert, the tone of his voice, the tension between the two of them, the character design, I was scared. I was like, the hairs on the back of my neck stuck up. This show just took a quality spike. That scene sold me on the Cad Bane pre-order. Yeah. But I just needed one scene that was like, wow, I'm going to remember that in 10 years' time with this guy in this suit. So I'm really on the fence with this one. But if it comes at an absolute banger of a head sculpt, maybe that would be enough to pull me in, because I don't have a Mando villain. I base my Mando collection around key characters from the strongest either scenes or episodes. For example, Ahsoka, live action Ahsoka, for multiple reasons, which I could talk about all day. I just thought that, just off the top of my head, the setting in the forest with the mist and the kind of green hue, and the fact that she was stealth, like you just see these blades before you see her, and by then it was too late. I just thought that was amazing. I thought she nailed it. Yep. Mando Luke, I don't have to explain that. The Boba Robot 2-pack, just when he returned and got the armor back, I was aiming for the other one. I just loved all that. So he's there, and then obviously a Mandalorian. You have a Mandalorian, and I've got a space reserved there for Cad Bane, but Cad Bane is technically not Mandalorian. You know what I mean? It's sure, like Boba Fett, but I'm kind of torn on this one. Like, I'm not sold. Would you be like, Dilo, are you seem a bit more convinced to me? Are you like definitely getting this, or are you waiting to see if it comes with a head sculpt, or are you a bit?
I'm definitely coming into it there, just because I mean I have a Mando display behind me that I'm absolutely in love with, and I just kind of already have like in my vision just like where one figure would be for this year. So I mean, even if it didn't come with a head sculpt, number one, just to be clear, this is not going to be a pre-order for me. This is something that I would definitely kind of wait to see, because I know, I understand not everybody's going to share my opinion on this here, because it's just me personally what I'm focusing on. But that's an advantage for me as a collector, because if no one agrees with me here, then there's a chance that either it would be low stock and then eventually it becomes something more of a value, or it's plenty enough to where there's going to be a discount, and I'm not against discounts. I'm okay with those. So give me as much save as I can. So either way, for me, this is coming home, just because, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen, this is the culmination of this character here. So quite frankly, I like to bookend things. So I prefer, if I'm going to collect something, I like to have the beginning of the character and the end of a character as well too. So
I like that.
Even if it doesn't necessarily scream gotta have it, I personally still have to have it, just because it fits my focus.
Yeah, that makes
This is
sense.
all aesthetics for me. Like I find it hard to pass up a cool Mandalorian outfit. They should have a new sculpt, because he doesn't have a mustache, right? Without the mustache,
exactly,
it's just not. You can't just swap
And rolling
that out.
eyes. The last one didn't have the rolling eyes.
Right, that'd be nice. I have a feeling it's not going to come with one, but who knows? Mandalorian stuff is selling like crazy. My Mandalorian shelf is bigger than my A New Hope shelf at this point. In terms of number of things.
It's
Crazy.
And there's true.
That makes
nuts.
sense though, because they do.
Yeah.
They churned out.
So many.
But do you know what's kind of cool? That they churned out a few troopers there that, fine, they were branded Mandalorian, but like they would fit into an original trilogy. They wouldn't look out of place in an original trilogy display. Like the Stormtrooper Commander, it's a trooper with an orange pauldron. We've seen orange pauldrons in the original trilogy as well. Like, or the Remnant Trooper. Okay, like the Remnant Trooper, we never saw Remnant Troopers in the original trilogy, but it's nice that they didn't just redesign everything. Like, I thought that was cool. Like,
Yep.
Ian, I'm guessing you're keen on this one.
Yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I've got quite a lot of the Mandalorian, and 5 came in today, as we talked about earlier today. So I'll see what this comes with, and it's probably a figure. So there's certain ones I've spoke to you, Shane, that I sit on and order the second batch and get it cheaper, because I don't need it day one. I can wait, and this would be one of those figures. But I need to see what it comes with. I'm more excited about Ahsoka coming out, that TV show. When you see the cast, I think that's going to hurt a lot of wallets.
It's going to be a problem. It's definitely going to be a problem.
Indeed.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see if there's a head sculpt, and then I probably won't pre-order it. I'll probably wait and see how I feel when it releases. I think that's one of the ones you can release, and maybe if it's one of those like phenomenal head sculpt, and who knows, maybe by then Mando season 4 might be in full swing, and they might have redeemed themselves a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll kind of, if it's all right with, unless anyone else has anything to add on this, I might use this next image just as a springboard for the main topic of the show. Anyone else have anything to add on Mando here?
Nope. Go for it, brother.
All right. So I know we've if you've been watching shows, you've seen this image talked about to death. So I'm just going to use this as a springboard. We're not specifically talking about Prey or the figures or something from this. The main kind of topic of the show really was I was going to do a bit of speculation, realistic speculation, I think, as in what figures you think will come over the summer, or if there's another wave. I do remember last year, I'm pretty sure there was 2 different waves of like Toy Fair exclusives, and then we've had one today, obviously. So I'm basically asking the chat and the panel what figures you realistically expect, whether they're Toy Fair exclusives or not, over the next few months, and then what 2 or 3 figures you want but unrealistically don't expect over the next few months. Like, I'm going to throw out one anyway, and the obvious one is Prey. I do think we're going to get the just the creature from this, and I think that will be it. I don't think there's going to be a Naru or a dog or a brother or a French trapper or anything like that. Yeah. But I'd be happy enough with the feral predator, to be quite honest. But that's just one of my realistic predictions, seen as they've teased it, and I know just because they've teased it doesn't mean they're going to make it. But I do think they're going to do just a predator in this one anyway. Anyone else just chime in, whatever. Any what do you think they're potentially going to come up with?
You're talking specifically Hot Toys,
right?
Yeah, either or. Like, I mean, the Hot Toys, the Toy Fair exclusives tend to be Hot Toys, but like no, it's not. There's no limits on it.
Well, I'd say here, I'd guesstimate and say there would probably be, based on like past years, probably 2 or 3 Marvel, or 3 Star Wars, maybe 1 DC, and then maybe something from an original property of some kind. So I won't take them all up there, but I'll throw one out because his absence is very interesting to me, considering all the other offerings we have here. I would say my first guess would be we will receive a notification sometime soon that there will be an Obi-Wan from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. I think that'll be a Toy Fair exclusive from one of them.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Yeah, that's a good guess. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd love to see a Hulk again. I mean, I have a Hulk, but maybe a rooted hair Hulk. Who knows?
The 2012.
It's all the rage.
How about Dutch from Predator? How about Dutch?
Gosh,
that would be pretty cool.
And is that 2.0?
I would
They
buy that in a
did it once
heartbeat.
before, didn't they? Yeah.
Yep.
The thing is, if there was one, if I could choose one figure from the entire Predator line, it would be the original Predator. I wouldn't necessarily need a Dylan or a Dutch or anything. I just want the Predator.
Okay.
Then followed closely by the feral Predator here, but yeah, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna go back. And it's funny. It's like the feral Predator is probably a reasonable guess. Like, you know, they've teased it. I know they don't follow through on all the teases, but then like them dialing the clock back to the 80s and giving you the original Predator's pipe dream, I'd imagine at this stage.
Yeah. Same with the rooted Ripley. I'd love to see them redo that
Yes.
with rooted hair. That'd be incredible.
Just do it.
I've thought so many times about doing it myself, and then I'm like, you know what? It's going to happen one of these days. And
as in, would you say like commission someone to custom it, or
yeah. I'm going to be doing that with the Scarlet Witch when I get it in, whenever that is from Wonderland.
Yeah. So third party group came up with that Ripley recently, but it just kind of, I don't think it was on the market.
That was not good. I was not happy with that. I don't know. I mean, I want to see more from Return of the Jedi. I kind of think that's over, though. I think we're done.
That kind of sucks.
I don't think that they care.
That was
anymore.
Two figures. One which is blatantly missing his 40th anniversary counterpart. Like,
right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, where is that Han and Chewie, man? I mean, come on. We haven't had a Chewbacca from the original trilogy since the first one. That was it. You know what I mean? And it was pretty good, but it could definitely use, especially now that they're doing better work with rooted hair. I mean, that's not rooting; it's a suit, but like, I think they can knock it out of the park now.
Graham from the Jedi Knights Watch put up a photo on his Instagram during the week of a Chewie. I think it was the New Hope one, but he had styled it to look as if the wind was blowing, and it was bloody cool, man.
Somebody did some work on one too, repainted the eyes, and it was an incredible looking figure, man. It was incredible.
Yeah. You reckon an Obi-Wan is from episode 2 is going to be a possibility, Dilo? And Trevor, what do you think realistically then?
No, realistically, I honestly don't know. I don't know. I don't have a good realistic thought. I mean, I still don't understand why they can't do the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. If Inart can do it, I mean, it may just be a U.S. thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't really understand what the licensing problems are.
What they said was it has to be really, really high-end and really expensive. So
the kids can't get a hold of it. But if you do a rooted version for $500, there you go. Problem solved.
Yeah, true. But then I suppose maybe it's Hot Toys. The fact that Toys is in the I don't know.
Who
I'm-
knows?
I,
Who knows?
we could, I have
DC's
no
weird.
idea.
So weird.
Ian, are you expecting anything like, say, either another Toy Fair exclusive or another wave, or even something that's a non-exclusive to be dropped over the next few months? Like, just a realistic. What was your realistic speculation be, or speculations?
Yeah, I still think they're going to do a Christopher Reeves 2.0, but maybe do it a 2.
Gosh.
From your lips to Hot Toys ears, man. That would be amazing.
Because you think about they've done the funky Christopher Bale with the blue cowl. They've done Wonder Woman, so it makes sense that there'd be a Trinity somewhere,
call.
and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's going to be the rumor is that Christopher Reeves is coming out. So
That'd be
Wow,
cool.
that's been floating
So
around, yeah.
so that's what I believe. It's maybe more hope. Excuse the pun, but
No,
I
collections are
think
built on hope
that's going to happen.
and lots of money. All right, let's get to the fun stuff. Like, we'll just we'll throw out one more before we kind of wrap it up. Like, give me a figure that you know there's no chance, whether it's a Toy Fair exclusive, a Shanghai exclusive, or there's no point in waiting for Inart to do it, or it's just not going to happen. Like, and then we'll take one or two from each of his fan, and then we'll call it a night. Anyone want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll go.
I'm gonna,
I'll go.
I'm-
You go first, Shaheen.
So a real curveball, because maybe not a lot of people will know about this. So the movie, the classic movie, Some Like It Hot, Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis, Marilyn Monroe. Do a 3-pack. Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon dressed as Daphne and Geraldine, and Marilyn Monroe in the white dress, all rooted.
Wow. That is definitely not happening.
Not happening. No, not happening. I like it though. You've nailed it. You've captured the essence of the game. Dilo.
I was a sucker for a movie growing up called Highlander.
Oh,
I've always wanted Highlander. I know Iconic just made an announcement.
yeah.
I just see that there, but
Yeah.
that got me thinking.
could happen.
man, that
could
can happen, but Hot Toys never. But yeah,
No, not Hot Toys. No. This wouldn't
I've
be
always
Hot
been-
Toys either. Go ahead. Sorry.
I would be more of a Duncan fan than a Connor fan. Me personally, I know that's ludicrous to say, but
No, I
would
get
like
that.
Duncan McLeod would be mine.
hmm
Duncan McLeod from Highlander.
Hot Toys wouldn't do this either, but I would love the reboot Battlestar Galactica figures. You know, Starbuck,
That would be nice.
Adama, and somebody was going to do. I think it was QMX. Like it commissioned. I know a sculpt. I know the guy who did it. And it was fantastic, and they never went through with it, and really disappointing. But it's not a property Hot Toys is going to do. I could see that Og Toys or something like that doing something like that. That'd be kind of cool. It can't be an expensive license, I don't think, at this point. But I'd love to see somebody do it. I'd totally buy all those for sure. Also, rooted A New Hope, Luke Skywalker. Not happening.
Yeah, never say never. See how Anakin does.
Yeah. I during the week when I released that video about like it's called Shit We Won't Get, and it was a lot of stuff in it that we're not going to get. I left one out because it's a gem. I would love to have, and I think it'd be a great figure, a Michael Biehn Terminator 1 Kyle Reese. Figures with trench coats are awesome.
Yeah.
Like, end of story. Like, there's so many great figures out there that have a long, like, full length trench coat, and like Michael Bihn's an absolute legend. Like, he would have been mentioned twice technically in that video if I'd included that, because the Colonial Marines 12 pack was another one we're not going to get, or Colonial Marines in general. But yeah, it's fun to dream. But yeah, we're coming up in the 2 hours mark. There's 39 people still watching. Massive shout out to the panel. Massive shout out and thank you to anyone who's taken time out of their day to just come on here and watch us chat about the news today and our little speculation and a little game at the end. Big shout out to the troopers and commanders, channel members, and I do appreciate the super chat that were dropped earlier on. So I'll start with Trevor. Thanks for coming on, especially last notice. I'm going to add you to the Hope Show group chat.
Oh, cool.
There's only a few of us on there at the moment, and you can just if it suits you to come on and have a chat like on the Mondays, yeah, so be it. So yeah, is it something coming up on your channel, or what's the story?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Tonight, Legions Lounge. We're talking about cosmic legions and customizing them. So we're gonna have some good customizers on there and stuff, and talking about some of the Legions news and stuff out there. So that's every other Monday if you're into that stuff. And then I think we're back. 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from Friday, we'll be back with the 1/6 pack, which I got to get you back on one of these days. Again,
Oh, definitely.
and all you guys. I'd love to have everybody. That
Yeah.
I got to get to know you guys and like feel comfortable inviting you on. But I'd love to have you all on.
So they've done a shit job of that tonight. Is that what you're saying?
No. They've all done a great job. Ian's obviously an enabler, like, so that'd be great. Maybe we may be buying stuff during the show because he's just telling me what to go get. But,
and it's the 1/6 pack, like, you know, Ian be there like 3 or 4 beers in, and the
yeah,
clothes
dude,
are coming off.
we're drinking, getting to the point where we're just buying whatever and selling.
Oh, that's a dangerous show. Yeah. And Tom's there. I met Tom in
that's right,
in London as well, like, gentlemen. So no, thanks very much for coming on. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to 1/6 Shooter on Facebook on YouTube and Instagram and X. What about X? Do you do X? That sounds so questionable. Do you know Twitter has been rebranded as X?
Has it been rebranded? Because I'm about ready to quit that. I'm done.
Yeah.
They get rid of that bird. I'm out. I'm doing Threads. I'm hoping Threads becomes the next Twitter, because Twitter was actually very good for toys and stuff like that, and toy photography. But
gotcha.
Yeah, nah, I'm on there,
And,
but don't bother following me there.
And Dilo, you're I presume wolf packing tomorrow, yeah?
Well, that's on Wednesdays. We're only Monday over here.
Monday. Oh, right, yeah.
Today's Monday over here. Tonight, I'm
Monday
actually
here
going to
too.
be. Tonight, I'm going to be on Evil Sneakers channel, up and comer, in the community here. Really nice guy. He has a series where he interviews collectors, kind of one-on-one, kind of picks their brains. And I'm going to be joining him tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, I think at 8 Central, our time. Also, yes, and like you said, I will be on Wednesday, like I always am, Wolfpack Wednesday, with my best buddies in the whole wide world, Brick Artemis, Graham, Jedi's Nice Watch, at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central there. So that's my schedule for the week. And yes, Dilo the Collector at Instagram for very poorly lit photos of my collection.
They're the best kind. And Ian, Ancient Silver Fox, thank you very much for coming on. What's coming up on? Oh, you don't have a channel yet, but what are you doing any streams? I know you were reviews with Rich, and you're kind of a staple here every Monday night.
I was supposed to be doing with reviews with Rich tomorrow night, but he's down with some bug.
All right.
So
hope he's all right.
So that's off. So this week's good. So I'll be opening these boxes behind me, and I've got Cad Bane coming finally on Wednesday. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, well, you have a full plate then of unboxing and posing and reposing and tweaking and moving things around the collection.
Forgot to say as well, I got 15 tubs to put the art boxes in the garage. So I've ordered 15 just now. So
excellent stuff. So just you're getting into the storage game as well.
Moving from one attic into the garage. So I thought that's better. So.
Excellent stuff. But again, thanks very much. I'm just going to really quickly just remind everyone there. So we're nowhere near 3K at the moment. We're about 2,250. I think it's literally just 2,250. So if and when we're lucky enough to hit 3,000, we will have a kind of a little celebration there, and we'll have a specific stream. Might do something special first, and we'll just ask a question at some point in that. And in order, if you want to be in with a chance of winning, you have to be subscribed, present in that live stream, which we will give you ample notice, and we'll ask a question. Whoever gets it right will get this. It'll be sent, and you just bear the cost on yourself. Thanks very much for Ancient Silver Fox or Ian for donating that, and that pretty much wraps everything up. So yeah, folks, we will see you next week, and just don't forget, collections, they're built on hope. See you, folks.